my name is Maya Dinger, and I'm finishing up my Doctor of Musical Arts degree at Arizona State University. I'm also the instructor of oboe at Paradise Valley Community College. I want to thank you for taking the time to prepare for these auditions, and I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about them today. So you can walk into your audition if you have three things. If you have good intonation, if you have accurate rhythm, and if you have a musical plan for each excerpt, then you can walk in very confidently. I like to tell my students the following. If you find the rhythm difficult to play it slower on one note. Just pick an easy note to sound on oboe like B flat, C, D, and just play the whole thing 10, 20 clicks slower, making sure that it's completely accurate. Tempo. Never ever play anything faster than you're able to. I'd much rather hear something that is under tempo and very clean as opposed to at the correct tempo marking, but inaccurate. If the notes are difficult, I like to play the piece, the etude, without any rhythm. So just go through the whole thing and just play one note at a time. So you get that muscle memory in your fingers, because the muscle memory is what comes out during the audition when you're very nervous. And at the end of your practice session, I like to tell my students, always try to put 5 minutes at the very end to play sight reading. And I know no one wants to do it. We sometimes just gloss over it, but it's really important, and you will be doing it in the AMEA audition. So just pick some random music and go at it at the end of the practice session. Now we'll talk about the etudes for oboe this year, starting with the first one. This one is relatively straightforward. In the faster sections, da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, you should plan to either use left F or forked F, because otherwise you won't be able to quickly go to the E flat in those sections. What the judge will be listening for this etude is accuracy with the rhythm. Obviously, that should be in all etudes, but here especially because it's a little trickier. And also, there are a lot of dynamics. Every 2 measures, the dynamics change. So just being as musical as you can, playing horizontally through the excerpt as opposed to da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, very vertically. So try to just sing through that. In the second etude, the adagio, just be as expressive and rubato as you can possibly be. I know the tempo marking says quarter at 63, but you can even go a little bit slower to really just milk it. The downward slurs are really tricky, so when I'm practicing it, I just like to isolate it. See, it got better each time I did it because you just have to think about how much air you got to put through your instrument to get those out, relaxing your jaw as you slur downward. Let's talk about the third excerpt. I know from what my students tell me, they do not like the third excerpt because of the one measure at the end with the fast notes, the 16ths. So whenever I have a fast passage like this, whether it's 16th notes, 30 seconds, whatever, I like to alter the rhythm so that I'm able to play it correctly. For example, so you first take it as a dotted quarter 16th, and you do that a couple times, and then you switch it to 16th dotted quarter. Right? And that one's a little awkward, admittedly. And then when you play it through, your fingers will remember it, and it kind of, in a way, tricks your brain into playing it perfectly through. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I think what I hear a lot is people tend to shy away from that measure, but you can really just push into the mezzo forte. It even tells you to crescendo. So do not get away from it. It's gonna sound so much better if you just have confidence going into that measure. Do not be scared. All right, let's talk about etude number 4. So the tricky thing in this excerpt is the accidentals that carry through. Make sure you mark all of those because some of them sound like they should be the opposites. Instead of an F sharp, like an F natural, right? But make sure you mark all of those. And as well, figuring out the time signatures, the 5/4, that extra beat. We don't really play in 5/4 that often, right? So make sure you have that 5/4 just in you there. And then 3/4 it goes to, and that's not too bad. So really it's just that decrescendo at the end. Da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Continue that straight stomach support so that the notes still come out when you go quieter. Otherwise, just the way our instrument works, the sound will stop and you'll be like, oh no. So that one is probably the most difficult, I'd say, of the 5 excerpts. Let's talk about number 5. This is just so beautiful. Andante rubato. Take your time, just like the second excerpt. And really the only thing that is tricky in this excerpt is planning the stringendo, starting in measure 6 after the meno mosso. Don't start too fast too soon, because then you'll get at the end and you'll just be going very, very quickly when it doesn't really call for that. It doesn't have to go that fast. And then after that, take your time on that last note. Don't just play it for 2 notes and cut off, or 2 beats and cut off. Play it all the way calmly and release. And that will be the end of the oboe etudes. Thank you again for taking the time to prepare these 5 excerpts for oboe. I hope you have a lot of fun preparing them because it's really great music, and I hope you feel really confident walking into your audition, and I know you're going to do great.